like this is a good time to walk you guys through our first experience with having a threesome together. We had already contacted this guy through our Craigslist ad, and we went to his hotel to meet him in his hotel room. So we're walking down the hall. Well, first of all, we pull up in the parking lot, and you were a nervous wreck at that point, I think.
Yeah. I almost don't even remember it. I was so nervous about it. Actually, the drive there, I was nervous because I wasn't sure what to expect. And that I had already in my mind decided that no matter what the outcome, I was going to be okay with it. Because I still, even though you had told me that you were going to be okay with it, I was like, there's no way this can be possible.
Absolutely. Her biggest fear was I going to be okay with what was going to happen, or was I going to be ready to bolt and leave the relationship? So we're walking down the hallway, and we knock on the door, and the door opens up, and there's this guy there, and he was a good-looking guy, you know. And I mean, obviously we'd seen his picture, but you never know online with people's pictures these days. And so I think we were both relieved. He seemed like a gentleman. He invited us into his room.
He offered us a drink.
Yeah, I think there was only like maybe one chair in there. So I sat in the chair. You guys sat on the bed together. And then it was small talk.
It was.
You were still pretty nervous right then.
Huh? I was.
Yeah.
That's when I still was like, I think you actually directed me to sit on the bed. And then he sat down next to me. And from this point on, you were kind of coaching me, because I didn't know how quickly to move, how slowly to move. It wasn't until you sat down on the bed, and I don't know if it was a glance that you gave me or something, but all of a sudden I realized the power that I had as a woman.
I was nodding towards like, okay, let's go.
And I think because he was a gentleman, he wasn't aggressive or anything like that, and so I really did have the opportunity to kind of make the first move. And then from that point on, I mean, once I made that move, which was I leaned in and I kissed him, and nothing happened as far as any kind of reaction from John negatively.
Yeah, I didn't get up and run out of the room.
No, you didn't. I mean, there was not. From that moment on, I was fine. Then it was just like a switch went off, and I just went straight into enjoying every morsel of that moment, and every power behind that moment, and just moving together.
And she did. From there, you know, it was just, for me, watching her and the motions of, you know, undoing each other's shirts, and the process of getting naked, and then the fooling around, the foreplay before you guys were actually doing anything, and Jackie kept glancing over at me to make sure I was okay, and I was definitely. I was great. And
well, and even though I was really excited with how positive John was, the empowerment it gave me, I was actually doing something for myself. Yeah. And
as a guy, this is the first time I'd seen Jackie with another man, and it was. It could potentially have bothered me, and for you guys out there, it could do the same thing. You might find yourself being a little uncomfortable. That wasn't the case with me. I watched her, and it was so incredible to watch you with another man, and for me to be able to see that from a different perspective. Sitting out here watching her with someone else was amazing. And you don't really get to see that when you're with your partner. You're like this, but you know, here I am now. I'm like this, and I'm seeing the shape of her leg and how she's moving and how she's enjoying what's happening, and that was really what was turning me on.
I noticed at one point when the gentleman and I ended up laying across the bed, and John was sitting at the head of the bed, you know, on the pillows. And I had looked over and I could see, you know, the enjoyment that he was getting from watching that. And I put my hand out. I think one, kind of for reassurance, and two, I think to kind of invite him into that. And so the next thing I know is the three of us were all just kind of incorporated in together in that experience. I mean, everybody was just involved.
Yeah, you and him were still engaged, and then I was, you know, touching you in different ways, and then at some point when you guys immediately afterwards that you guys got done, then Jackie and I started making love with each other, and he was able to sit there and watch us for a few minutes, and that was pretty incredible too. And so we got done with all of that experience, and everyone's putting their clothes on, and we said, it was great to meet you, thank you very much, we had a great time, and we left. And then we raced home, and we made love again, and we shared the experiences and all of the things that we got out of it, the good things and the negative things, we shared about it with each other. And that was a real turn on and very erotic for both of us as well. The whole experience, I think, it built trust, and then it gave us a story to talk about. And to this day, we still talk about our experiences with others from time to time, and it enhances our sex with each other. We would just like to thank you all for being with us here today. We've really enjoyed this experience. Jackie and I love sharing our experience, and hopefully our experience is going to help you with your future experiences in having a threesome. We know we haven't answered all your questions about threesomes, and there's going to be other videos coming that might delve into that a little bit more, and videos on other topics as well. The other thing is we have some upcoming webinars, so be sure and check out the date, and you're welcome to ask us anything on those webinars, and we'll be more than happy to answer those questions there. So once again, we'll see you soon.